Alright guys, so this is going to be table mission 4, Beltharith Starport. So basically the fluff behind this one, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You got this really nice main starport with all these fancy fortifications and buildings. Obviously it's going to be valuable to either side to hold. So basically the idea behind this one is just the two sides that are clashing on here are trying to claim these buildings to basically hold and keep the starport under their faction's control. So that's pretty much what's going on. So the way this mission will work is it's basically also a multiple objective mission, but the special thing about this is each of these buildings that you see here are going to be counting as an objective. So basically objectives are pre-placed. So there is going to be 8 buildings. So we got a bunker here, so this will be a bunker. Then we have this bastion will be an objective. Then this barracks building will be an objective. There's actually 2 little buildings connected by Aegis line, but that's all just going to count as one objective. Then you'll have the landing pad here, the aircraft control tower here, the super bastion here, another barracks just like that. So it looks like 2, but it's all going to count as 1. So you know, 3 being within 3 inches of any of that will capture the objective. And then another small bunker here. So it plays basically just like any other objective mission. So you would just count these as just very large objective tokens, so being within 3 inches of them, you can capture them. So all of the terrain that's classified as terrain building on this table will count as a tactical objective. There are 8 buildings. A unit inside of a building counts as being within 3 inches for purposes of denial and capture. Normally in a game you can't control something while like in a vehicle or whatever. This one I'm going to count if you're in the actual building itself. You're obviously scoring the building. Each building is worth 3 points at the end of the game, like a normal objective. At the end of the game, the team with the most points wins. So once again, each building is worth 3 points, just like normal objectives. And then you can add any slay the warlords you get to that total. And once again, any lords of war that you kill will be worth price failure. You can also add to that. So you could, I guess if you agreed with your opponent, I don't really care either way, just play this like straight up like this is just terrain, like as far as like impassable where you can't interact with it. The mission was designed in mind though where you actually can interact with the terrain, like it's neutral and you can actually get in it and use the buildings. If you choose to play it the second way where you can actually interact with the terrain, on the mission packet I have all the rules for the buildings on the table. So you'll just have to look at the mission packet when you play. It's got a clear list of what the access points are, what the rules are for the buildings. The only kicker to that is, like normally if I were to destroy this bastion in a standard game, I would remove it. Because we need it to actually mark objective, just leave it in place. If there's units inside, they would take damage and everything as if it was destroyed and removed, but you'll just place them almost like emergency disembark, like getting out of a vehicle, and just leave the building in place, and then at that point it would just count as like a ruin or whatever that you can still score. So that's pretty much it. We have all these cool quad guns and Icarus las cannons and stuff on here. Once again, talk to your opponent before the game begins. I don't care either way, whatever's fun for whoever wants to put on this table. You can treat those as like, you know, active things that can actually be utilized if you're touching them, just like a neutral thing, which I feel like would be more fun. That's kind of what this was designed to do, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So the secondary mission on this one is Slay the Warlord, or sorry, that's the bonus. The secondary is Last Man Standing. So Last Man Standing is basically you just have to have more units left alive at the end of the game than the opponent. The team who has more units left alive at the end of the game scores 5 points toward your secondary. So basically, it's almost win, lose, draw on that one. So that's the secondary. So that's pretty straightforward there. So that's pretty much it for this one.